Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House on the trail walk here again. Kind of a brisk day out. Longest winter ever that I've lived through, for sure. No snow on the ground or anything, but that we got a bone-chilling wind still going. But just my face taking the brunt of this. So, wanted to talk to you guys about what happened down in the cancer clinic. They took 5 vials of blood from my dad, and then we had to sit in a waiting room to wait for the doctor. Saw 2 doctors actually. An assistant doctor to the head. They're both female, and really good doctors. But yeah, so they checked my dad over. He had to tell his story about the whole ordeal again. When they were looking for heart issues, they found the mass on the PET scan. And so they actually had the photos of the PET scan and actually showed my dad for the first time and us, and it was quite neat. She kind of like scrolled with the mouse wheel on top of the mouse, and it would give you different time lapses of when the photos were taken, different angles and stuff. And it's quite big. It's the size of a grapefruit, and it's B-grade lymphoma. It's non-aggressive, non-active. There's another name for that, but they want my dad on chemo to get the size down, and they're just concerned about the size. So what they did was they booked him for another PET scan, because it's been at least 4 months since his original. That way they have a baseline to see if it shrunk or got bigger or what, or did nothing, right? Hopefully shrunk. Because in the meantime of the waiting game over here, we've been giving him, well, he's been taking turmeric in his coffee, or turmeric. He's been taking dandelion root tea almost daily. He's been taking hemp oil, CBD hemp oil, every other day. And I've already had a discussion with people giving me crap on that. Well, guess what, guys? I know it's not cannabis oil. It's not the real stuff, because hemp is a brother plant to cannabis, but it's legal. And until July of this year coming up, I cannot do anything about it unless I want to go to jail. And then I really can't help my dad from jail or keep making YouTube videos from jail for you guys. So I love the little know-it-alls online, but guess what? I'm doing what I got to do. That's legal, right? So anyway, so the nice thing about what's going to happen is, I don't like the chemo thing situation, but they said the success rate's really good now. I kind of was shocked to hear that. I don't know if I believe it yet. We'll find out. But basically, they're going to give him, for 6 months, 2 days per month of those 6, the chemo. The first day will be the toughest because it's a 5-hour deal. They give you 2 drugs, which are the chemo drugs, and I guess the first time is going to be the toughest. So what I'm gonna, and they give, what they told me, they give him a combination of 3 drugs like Benadryl and some other stuff the day before, the day of, and the day after to fight any incoming symptoms, because they're adding a foreign body to the blood. They're putting it in the blood, this chemo. And I don't know about that. I'm no doctor, but my God. Yeah. So, not the best news to hear. So, and also, they told us to buy a temperature probe, because if my dad has, during or after the chemo treatment, gets a fever of 38 degrees or above, we have to rush him to the ER. And they gave us a special pass that we can incorporate. And this pass, when we go to the ER, will automatically get him inside without waiting in the waiting room. And apparently it's because your immune system is basically shat on when you're on chemo, and you know, they're going to do something at the ER to help him fight some kind of life-threatening infection while his immune system is shot. So, like I say, guys, I'm no fan of chemo, but the good news is it's going to be another month until he gets in for the next PET scan, where they take a new picture of the object inside him, okay, as their baseline. Then, after that, alright, they will contact him and book him for chemo. Now, apparently he can take the chemo in my city, but he has to then, every 4 weeks, be brought down to London to see that doctor, female doctor there, and she will tell us if things are going good or what. But, so we got an extra month. My dad had to cancel his trip, which is a bummer, but he told me privately he really didn't want to go when my mom booked it, because it's going to be super hot then. So my mom's disappointed, but they can go on a trip somewhere in Canada, because the insurance company will not cover you outside of Canada, out of country. So, you know, I agree with that. Yeah. So, I'm going to cut this off. I'll be back on my second lap here, guys, and talk to you about the rest, alright? See you in a bit. Hey guys, back on the second lap here. Yeah, so where I left off, so, the chemo thing. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not a fan, as you can tell, but we'll see. Maybe a miracle will happen. Definitely need your guys' thoughts and prayers again. Get my dad through this. It worked the last time, guys, so definitely need you again. And so the cannabis oil situation, we get at least 1 month of time to, well, the sooner we get to July, the better, guys, because that's when it's legalized. That's when I get him on the oil. I'll feel a lot better when he's taking the oil. Now, one thing I gotta be careful of is the type. There's 2 strains, and then there's numerous names out there for the oil. But the strain that I need is indica, and the 2 strains are indica and sativa. Sativa is more of a hallucinogen and makes your heart race and stuff, so we want to stay away from that, especially since my dad is on heart medications, you know, and all that stuff, and a defibrillator. So we want indica variety, pure indica if we can, and we want a high THC level. And I'm getting all this information from phoenixtears.org, and the indica is more of a sedative type strain and whole body healing, and that's what we're looking for. And that will help shrink and eliminate his tumor, right? So that's the whole plan. Now you can obviously do it in conjunction with chemo, but it's better if you just do it by itself, the cannabis oil, the one I mentioned. So yeah, it's tough, guys. Like you've probably noticed in the last little bit, well, at least last month, for sure, last couple months videos, I've been all over the place in videoing, and it's just the way the cancer's kind of infected my mind, and it's a bad situation. I wouldn't want anybody to go through it, but if I can get this information out to people that you can beat it with cannabis oil, then there you go. But I'm kind of screwed on the time frame here. Good, it's getting legalized. Bad that it's happening so late, because I could have had him on the oil even before getting in for the chemo exam and all that, if you know what I mean. We could have surprised the doctor by getting another PET scan, and then oh wow, the tumor's shrunk quite a bit. What are you doing? And then we tell her and she'll freak out. Because most doctors out there, guys, are pretty much against what I'm talking about. Even though it's absolutely all natural, has never killed anybody. And, you know, it's the way it is. I do not get it. It's the way our world is anymore. But hopefully the chemo doesn't hurt my dad as badly as I think it's going to be. I could be blown out of proportion. But, you know, I don't know. And I'm not the one to ask. But I'll give you updates, guys. So let's say a month away from now, so be, let's see, and she thought, the doctor said April 1st she'd like to get him on the chemo, but that doesn't add up for the timeline of getting in for a PET scan. So I don't understand. So it might be April, May before the doctor gets the new photograph done of my dad of what the tumor's doing presently. And then after that, she will set up an appointment for him to get chemo in town and all that. So yeah, I wanted to talk about what can I do, guys, in the midterm before getting my hands on cannabis oil, right? To help him through the chemo. And I've been taking something called Tangy Tangerine 2.0. And it's basically an all-in-one, totally organic, super mighty multivitamin mixture and immune booster and all that. And I think I'm going to have him get on that. I stopped buying it because it was expensive, even though I know it works. But, God, it's just going to kill my budget again for the tiny house, guys. But, like I say, it's for a good cause. It's for my dad, right? I'm not too worried about the tiny house at this point, as much as you guys would will cringe at me saying that. I got to take care of some family stuff, right? And man, it's windy. Let's see if I can get that flag in that shot. Yeah, it's a bitter cold out here. Somebody's got a flag over by the river here sticking up. I never film it, but whatever. Got to catch it that time. Anyway, yeah, so I'm out here doing what I can to get healthy myself. Now that I know it runs, I guess it's going to run in the family, so I don't know. So at least for me, I can get on the cannabis oil as well, but it'll be legal by the time I need it. But obviously going to focus on giving him everything I can. And I don't know how much the cannabis oil is going to cost me, guys. But like I say, I'm going to be buying the Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the name of that supplement that I'm going to be giving my dad while he's on chemo, while we're waiting for, and also continue to give him the CBD hemp oil and dandelion root tea and all that stuff, while we're waiting for access to the legal cannabis. So now, what I was getting into, the cannabis oil. Because my dad's on heart pills and blood pressure and all that, I need to be very careful when giving him the dosage. Like after a while, I can increase it when his body gets tolerant to it. But they say right on phoenixsteers.org, Rick Simpson's site, if you're on blood pressure meds and you start taking some cannabis oil, it's probably a good idea to consult a physician who knows both. And the reason is, cannabis oil is so powerful, guys, it will automatically recorrect your blood pressure and all that fun stuff. So it's not good to do both. Take a blood pressure pill and cannabis oil. Not good at all. Does not. I don't think it's not a good idea. So when my dad first tries cannabis oil, I'm going to tell him, look, it's probably not a good idea that you take your routine of pills for when you're on this stuff. You know what I mean? Now, whether that he does or does not, we don't know yet. But that's something to consider, guys. I'll hit you guys up on the next lap of the trail walk here on lap number 3. We'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, back here on lap 3. And yeah, so I'd like to just apologize to everybody because since all this happened, I spoke to it about it a little bit earlier there. My concentration on the tiny house and videos are kind of, it's all scatterbrained because of, the family situation going on with me right now. So, so just hang in there. Hopefully my dad pulls through and we can get back to some normalcy and move on with the tiny house. Though in the short term, obviously most of my money and resources are going to be putting it taking care of my dad, and kind of puts me in limbo as to what is going to happen. I haven't thought about what's going to happen. I don't even want to think that way, but no negativity here. I'm not even going to go there. We're just going to pray, get your guys' prayers, get the cannabis oil in them, and we're going to find out when he gets this picture done, the new PET scan, for what the tumor looks like presently if it shrank. Now, if it shrank, it's obviously a good thing, and it's due to it, and it's all honestly due to the CBD hemp oil, turmeric. You can say it either way. It doesn't matter. People know what you're talking about. Curcumin is the other name for turmeric, and dandelion root tea. We'll see if that stuff has an effect, and the apricot seed as well, B17. We'll see if that any of that has helped or not in the next picture that we get by the doctor. And if it has worked, obviously we're going to continue to doing it all throughout chemo. And then I'm going to do my damnedest to pay for cannabis oil and like the supplements and other things for my dad so he can get through all this. And it's, you know, maybe it's a good thing that work has been slow, and not really a good thing, but it's been slow, so, you know, there's not a lot of stress or pressure on right now to get stuff done. But at least I'm not a big spender with my money. I'm pretty frugal, guys. So all my savings is going to be going to help my dad, pretty much. That's the way it is. Tiny house is on the back burner. I'm going to do what I can with you guys. If you've been watching me, you know, I kind of organized over at the tiny house, got the lumber in piles. I'm going to use what I have, obviously, so that way it's not going to cost me anything. I have the screws, I have some lumber, I have a saw, so I can put something together. Hopefully that'll work over there and get things done. Still holding out for suggestions on what I'm going to do with that back wall in the tiny house, the mylar. I'll know further along, before you guys even see this video. Somebody will make some suggestions for me to try on that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's kind of it's a weird shaped wall, and because of the foam and everything, so, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. Oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, I'll only do the 3 laps today. That's like 3.5 miles, which is okay. It's just early morning, so I got other stuff to do anyways, check on my dad and stuff. So, but he's just not showing any symptoms, guys, and that's what the doctors are. So they're happy about that, and I am too. They said he'd have stomach pains if it was an active tumor, aggressive. He doesn't have anything. So it's all down to, you know, I'm going to reluctantly rely on the chemo and the modern medicine, and hopefully I'm trying to really rely on the cannabis oil, and I'm probably bugging some people talking about that, but it's all natural, guys. Has never killed anybody. The side effects, if you compare cannabis oil to chemo, it's friggin' beyond night and day. It's like, what the hell are we using chemo for? Right? But I'm sure in the next few years, when the government actually realizes it, then they'll be, actually, they won't realize it. What's going to happen is, when they legalize it, people are just going to treat their own at home, and chemo's not even going to be a thing. It's just going to be the way it is. that's the way it is. I don't see any wildlife out today. Muskrats or ducks, but everybody's probably staying warm because of the damn wind. That's what I should be doing, but I gotta get some exercise in me for sure. And I've been eating quite good, and I've been eating like one meal a day. I know people might get concerned about that, but remember, guys, I have supplements as well that I take if I feel that I need to, and that gives me the nutrition. But the stuff that I've been eating is, I'm gonna make a video on this when I actually run out of the stuff, and I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna reveal what it is until I make this video, and anybody can do it. You know, it's a little costly up front, but it will last you, you know, since I'm eating one meal a day on this stuff, it's gonna, you know, and it's super, I'm gonna call it, well, I'm not even gonna name it, but it's a super healthy choice. And it has something to do with, I'll give you a hint, it has something to do with the hemp seeds. That's one of the ingredients. And you guys know, if you've been watching me, hemp seeds are basically the ultimate food on earth. It's the only food a human can live off permanently and get all the nutrients and amino acids and stuff, proteins, etc. off of that. So that's part of it. It's not, you know, it's not the main, well, it is a main ingredient, but I'll reveal that in another video. But yeah, so best wishes for my dad, guys. Hopefully I won't lose any subscribers or views over the situation, because the YouTube money does help when I do get paid from it. That's for sure. Helps me pay for the rent at the tiny house. And like I say, if something happens to my dad, guys, I don't want to think that, but that means that YouTube money will obviously completely go to pay for my dad's trailer and my trailer, and then I will have zero profit from YouTube. I have other sources from Patreon members that I'm highly grateful for, and I haven't spent a dime of their money. It's being put back for, like I say, that other MPPT charge controller, which is quite expensive, but is needed in order for me to have a better, larger solar system. And I have one of them already. You guys seen it briefly in one of my videos. I'll have to show more video of it, but I do need another one, because it'll only run 6 of my solar panels max, and I obviously have 14 more, right? And then I obviously battery expenses and everything else. But we're gonna see what the hell happens here with my dad. Best wishes though, positive. I've been praying every night since knowing about everything, and I did my best to get him on all this stuff in the midterm, like the apricot seed, dandelion root tea, CBD hemp oil, and turmeric and stuff. So he's been taking the stuff, and we'll see what the photo brings. I'll give you an update when we know about the photo, whether good or bad. Hopefully very good. I hope so. I have a good feeling about things though. I'm just kind of, it's the way I am. I get a little, you know, concerned and panicked about this stuff. But that's the way it is. Alright, so we're coming up at the end here. So I'm gonna shut the video down, guys. And yeah, just to let you know what's going on. Yeah, I'll get warm, and I'm fairly warm though in this jacket, so it's good. But my face is freezing, so I'm out of here for now.